What's up, world? Joshua Long here, bringing high vibrations as always. And I want to talk to you about some things that I've really been studying and things that I want to share with you to try to maybe help improve your life and your process of working through the complexity of this universe we call the world and Earth. So some of the things that are all involved in this is the mind, the soul, and the body. And unfortunately, we've all been put in a position through habitual habits, through growing up in this world of torment and hate and, these subliminal messages that are constantly thrown at us left and right. And we have to learn to reorganize our mind, our soul, and our body to best work in our favor and to give us the most excitement, most joy, most love, and most gratification out of this life that we can possibly get, because life is beautiful. Life was meant to be enjoyed every moment, every second, every right now. It should be the happiest time of your life. Okay? So the first thing is the mind. The mind is the first and all controller of what our habits and what it is that we're doing, the way we think, the way that we perceive this reality, and it's all jacked up. And there's a little entity called the ego, and this ego has got us exactly where he wants us. I mean, he's got us right under his thumb. He or her, whatever voice you hear in your head. Okay? So the first thing is learning how to clear the ego out of the way, to make the ego vanish and never come back. Okay? Because once we banish the ego and our conscious, which is who we really are, takes control over our thoughts and how we use those thoughts and the order and process of those thoughts come in, we are then able to start reorganizing the soul and the body to work in our favor. Now, the soul is something we'll get to a little bit later, but when we reorganize the mind, we're then able to utilize the body in the manner that it was meant to be used in, because the body is simply an instrument for the subconscious and the conscious. Okay? We think a thought. The subconscious is the conscious of feeling. That feeling is expressed through this instrument we call the body. Okay? Now, there's a couple things the body does for us that are highly important to know. One, the body exerts the expression and the energy of our vibration and of what we feel, what our mood is. Okay? And remember, in the law of attraction, okay, whatever vibration that we're putting out, okay, is the vibration that we're going to receive. It's the law of attraction. So we want to learn how to raise the vibration, which is a mind. It's a part of the mind that also have to be worked on. But also, the body is an energy system builder. Okay, so the body sorry, I'm NASCARing on the highway right now. The body can be used not only to exert energy, but it can be used to build energy. And it's vital that we learn these different ways of, I call them energy systems, to utilize these energy systems to build up this energy. So when our mind is clear and out of the picture, and our conscious is there controlling what thoughts we want to think and what direction we want to think them, the body we use to build up this energy. So when we have these thoughts, we have a raised vibration, they're powerful thoughts, they have massive energy to them, and it will amplify the law of attraction. So we'll get to the body and how we use this tool and this instrument and some of the systems that are along with that in another video. I want to first talk about the mind. Okay, it's kind of where my focus has been on with some of my videos, ways of thinking, ways of acting, ways of appreciating, but the mind is in the way. So we have two things. We have the mind and we have the conscience. The mind is what you're constantly hearing right now. I mean, even as I'm driving and I'm making this video in the background, the mind is unconsciously, habitually thinking, randomly, constantly, fighting for every second it can possibly get to tie me to the past or to the future. Okay? Now I realize time is irrelevant. Time is not real. Sure, there's a clock time. But the psychological time is the time that we get so hung up on, and it's what ties us down and creates the worry of whether or not I'm going to make my appointment. Okay, it's the psychological time that I speak of whenever I talk about time not really being real, because there is only the now. There is only the present. And it's important that as often as possible, we are present. This is something that I have practiced so hard. And repetition of this is key. Repetition in all this stuff is the sole factor. First, becoming aware and knowledge of what's really going on, but then the repetition of practice, okay? The repetition of doing this, and like anything, it's hard. So, I mean, when you gain 500 pounds and you gotta go to the gym, you're dying for the first 6 months, okay? But through that repetition, you shred that weight and you become this magnificent piece of art that you created in your mind, okay? Same concept. So, some of the ways to practice of being present, okay, is meditation, is taking a walk, looking around, seeing the buildings, seeing the colors, feeling, touching, taking a shower, letting the water run down your face, feeling the water running down your face, just simply being present. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing that you're doing that you're having to think spiritually. You're literally just focused on what's going on right this second. And there's nothing else in the world at that point in time that can bother you. There's no problems or issues. There's no rent right now. Right now, there's no problems. We create these problems through that psychological clock that the ego loves to thrive off of, to make us think in the future and make us think in the past. Okay? It gains its energy off of our emotional attachment to these things. So when we can be present and not give any energy towards the ego, then we drain the ego of its efficiency. We drain the ego of its power. And essentially the ego will disappear. Okay? So again, take your dog on a walk. Watch how your dog is wagging its tail. Feel the collar and how tight it is or how loose it is when you're putting the leash on it. When you're walking, feel each step. Feel the door handle whenever you're opening the door. I know this sounds very simple, but these are practices and tools of being able to be present, okay, which is the beginning, okay, and becoming now versus thinking in the future, thinking in the past. There is no past, there is no future. They're just stories that we tell ourselves that the ego lives and survives off of. Also, one thing that I read today that I learned that really helped me, because at first when I was practicing this, being present, in my own head I was narrating. Look at the leaves on the trees. In my mind, this is what I was thinking. Wow, those clouds are so beautiful. Look at the light come out of the clouds. Okay? Don't narrate. Just see. Look at the different colors. You know? And observe the stillness of things. Right? So, practice this. This is very important. This is the first step, is right up here. Because without control, without having conscious control up here, the body, the soul, they'll never be exactly where they need to be. as we begin to become more aware and we begin to gain more knowledge and we begin to have practice through repetition, these things become easier for us. Then we can learn how to utilize our tool and our instrument, the body, to gain extra power and energy to be able to work our thoughts in our advantage. Okay? And with the soul, the soul is going to come along with it, trust me, because you'll feel it, you'll love it, you'll be so happy. Because we deserve to be happy, we deserve to live life in a manner that is now. We don't deserve to live life always chasing our goals, or always chasing rent, or always worrying about what we did, or if someone was upset with us. These are all illusions of the ego. The power of now is what you need to live for. Have a great day, world. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.